I was like, no. Like, I spoke to you for an hour today. I ain't doing this. What happened to Christian?
That's what I'm saying. Where Christian go?
Christian left as soon as we went live. Look at him. Christian said, hey, good to be back. We're going live. I'm gone. He is a hero to me, bro.
He gonna hop back in.
Sure. Whenever he wants to.
That was weird.
What happened to him? How does man show up somewhat late, get in, wait for us to go live, and then somehow leave?
Like, bye, bitch.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I love him. He is an enigma to me. How he functions, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I that's my brother.
If he's not on in 10 minutes, I'm going. There he is.
My bad. I logged up to fix something. Let me turn this down.
Oh, it was you that did it, huh?
And he left again. He said, "My bad." Bounce. Miracle. He's a miracle to mankind.
Yep. What happened?
You told me.
I ain't doing nothing. We
It just keeps telling me that something happened. I was like, what the hell happened?
Listen,
bro, I'm eating soup. I don't know what happened.
And I'm chilling.
Okay. Let me see.
Connor.
One more time, I'm done. If you leave one more time, I'm done, bro.
Connor, talk up.
Talk what?
Connor, have you seen the Dahmer movie, the Jeffrey Dahmer movie?
I know of Jeffrey Dahmer because I've watched other documentaries about him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that my issue with the one with Netflix is it's a little too dramatized for me. Don't get me wrong.
It is very dramatized.
Is it very well
It's really good.
Well written. Does an okay job in explaining how much of a horrible person he was, but I think that we are getting maybe a little too obsessed with serial killer culture. Yes, I think that if you did do a Jeffrey Dahmer thing, you need to do it in a very nuanced way because he killed and ate people. He's a monster, bro. And I have kids who are watching it this guy's crazy. I'm yes, learning about serial killers is cool, but it sometimes might become an unhealthy obsession.
Mm.
You could idolize them, where you gotta get some of those crazy people. But yeah, I wish that we would talk more about the victims, because people lost loved ones, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And he was weird in a sense where he killed outside of his race, which is very rare for a serial killer.
It looked racist. I'm not gonna lie. It looked racist.
Well, yeah, he's a serial killer. I don't know what else it could be, but usually serial killers of certain races kill other people of their race. It's a very rare occurrence that a true serial killer is for a white person to kill a black person as a serial killer who's a true serial killer. That's a rare occurrence. But it's good. I mean, I've watched it. I think it's okay, but I didn't watch it per se. I just didn't find it as fun
as one of these millennials, man. I love true crime stories, man. I think they did a really that weird space of being I think you fall in love with the artistry of the directors and how they explain and just his crimes. But damn, almost not saying you feel bad for what he did, but you almost feel bad for how he got there. How he got there. Damn, if things are different, maybe somebody could have, he would have killed 17, possibly more people. But it was just damn. It wasn't like he had a great home, full support system, mom. But I'm not saying that's an excuse to go out killing people. But you just almost wonder what kind of psychosis he might have been dealing with before he started doing it. I think that was the
Well, the
interesting
question,
piece.
I think the ultimate question in psychology is it nature or nurture? Are you who you are because of your surroundings, or are you who you are because that's who you are as a person? I don't think that question will ever get answered. Like, are you mean because your parents were mean to you? Well, you could potentially say, yeah, my parents were jerks, and I became a jerk. But there's plenty of people who were like in horrific situations as kids, and they come out like some of the greatest people on earth who came from like abusive or horrible backgrounds. But like some people have perfect home environments, great parents that love you, and you're like, wow, that guy's on the 5 o'clock news for what? You know what I'm saying? So,
Look at Marcus. No offense to anyone watching.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, but honestly, I'm just saying, like, I think all people are like a chemist experiment. Like, I think they're just all different formulas of the same type of compounds and elements that are available to all of us. But I think it's just everybody's different. It really is just everybody's unique. You can't you can't per se, like you just said, somebody's going to be the president of the United States by giving them everything on a silver platter, giving them Ivy League schooling, giving them great homes, never struggle with financial uh, outcomes of anything because of their parents, and they can still want to grow up and kill people or be a crackhead or be a truck driver. Like, or then you could have somebody who could have been in foster care that had nobody in his corner, grows up to run a Fortune 500 company. I think it does depend on that person, what he's made of. I think it comes down to genetics. I think it comes down to how you see life. Like, I think your perspective has a lot to do with what you want to do when you become an adult, right? So
I think it's about
that's
who you surround yourself with too.
yeah. But in Jeffrey Dahmer's case, he was lonely. So I guess how you even deal with being a lonely motherfucker. Like, are you going to take that time to better yourself? Are you going to
But
harbor on the fact nobody's with you? You know?
I don't know in a second like the part where you was talking about when you was at my place earlier, the Dahmer on Dahmer, and it actually goes into details like I told you. Actually, Jeffrey Dahmer was actually in the same lady who's playing this current 2022 interview. She
Mm,
interviewed Jeffrey Dahmer back in 1994, I think she said,
really?
and so like weeks before he got killed in prison. And it actually comes out that when he was a child, he was kind of his mother. Like his mother wouldn't let anyone else come around him. No one else.
Mm,
I'm willing to bet that probably played into his adult psyche a little bit.
I would think so.
I'm sure. I think that there's something about moms and serial killers, especially with boys. It's like a weird, like a lot of them have obsessions and stuff like that.
Mm,
I think if you look at now, obviously it's another Netflix documentary or somewhat one is I forget exactly what it's called, but basically it talks about how like the FBI at first didn't really understand these people, but they created a special unit to study serial killers. And the best way to study a serial killer is with another serial killer. So they would go out and they would interview serial killers. And I think there was one case. Who was the dude that killed all those girls? He was like the
Ted
captain in
Bundy.
Florida or whatever.
Ted
Ted
Bundy.
Bundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Bundy was like there was a serial killer running around, and they were like, "Hey, Ted, like out of curiosity, this is the dude. Who do you think he could be?" And Ted Bundy came up with a better like idea of what this guy was. He's like, "Oh, he does this. This is what I would do if I was in his scenario." Like, it's the
Right.
same thing. It's the same thing with like when you're a business and you're being hacked. What do? You call the hacker that hacked you and go like, fix the software. So like, there's lots of reasons why people do certain things and stuff and like but also I think that there should never be an excuse,
Mm,
right? Like, yeah, I have kids who go through rough times, and it's like they were emotionally or sexually or physically abused, and you go, that sucks. Like you feel bad for them, and I'll always give them my sympathy. But if you go, yeah, but then they went on to like murder 19 women, it's like, hey, like when you're old enough to understand that like murder is wrong, you should be able to understand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
I'd say I was abused as a kid. Um, yes, maybe your sense of ideas is warped, and I'm sure like if there's ever a psychiatrist that watched this was like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I just feel that like when you're 18, 19, 20, and you're like, hey Connor, you shouldn't go around murdering women. That's against the law and wrong. You should be able to understand that, but they don't.
Connor, face your mic, like turn.
All right, there's my mic right here. You happy? Does it
Yeah.
sound better? Here, I can turn it up even louder if I need to be.
Yeah, bro.
All right, but
Do you believe that in like the modern society, like as in like the 2010 plus range, do you believe that Jeffrey Dahmer could do what he did for as long as he?
no, no. I think
Why not?
I think that no, because there's too much technology. Doug, I get trapped in a dude's house. I got a phone. They can go on there and be like, Apple, when was the last time this phone was connected to the Wi-Fi? It was in this dude's house. I go over there. Hey, my phone says I was there the last few seconds. I'm looking for him. Find my iPhone? My iPhone pings. I'm at a guy's house. Police are there within 20 minutes. Don't get me wrong. Do I think it's harder now? Oh, 100%. But
That's not.
I don't. Well, here's my thing. I think it still could happen if a guy wanted to go on a spree of, let's say, I don't know.
Hell, didn't it happen recently?
You picking up guys back to your place, drugging them and killing them while they're drugged, and disposing of the bodies. Maybe doing a better job of removing the bodies from your apartment. But I think it could be done. I think somebody, if they,
I'm not saying it's not impossible. I'm saying that like in today's society, it's much more difficult because yes, you can kill the undesirables is what they would say, right?
Yeah.
Prostitutes, stuff like that. But today with technology, they understand they got to protect themselves. Like you spend enough time in a very dangerous business, you would take steps potentially to protect yourself. Now, granted,
Connie,
you
but
might
you,
not feel protected, but like let's say for example you're a prostitute, right? And you know that you're going somewhere. You might tell your homegirl like, I share my location with you. If I send you a message like something's wrong, I can. It takes me 5 seconds. Log into this. Log into my Apple. Log into my Apple account, which my mom, my brother also have. I need help. I send some cryptic message. Apple, find my iPhone. Boom, 30 seconds. You can know where I am instantaneously. This is
more dangerous than that, Connor. The best serial
No,
killer.
but a lot of phones. No. Oh, you don't even have to fucking log in. You can fucking do some shit from your locks.
Right.
Yeah, I'm set up for life. So,
But here's what I was trying to say. The best serial killers in the world are the ones that haven't been caught yet. So there's somebody out there right now killing goddamn every
well,
kids and missing adults. He's a serial killer
He's got a.
right now.
now, yes. Am I saying that it's impossible? No, I'm saying that like, yes, the best spies are the ones we don't know, which is why James Bond is the worst spy of all time because everybody knows who James Bond is.
Everybody knows James Bond.
So what I'm saying is that yes, are there serial killers? I believe the United States believes there's like 12 to 25 serial killers in the United States at any time. And yes, serial killers are extremely intelligent,
Yeah.
but we understand them now more. So like when you track these people, you got to understand that they like to be around the crime scene. They like to get involved in the police search. They like to interject themselves. There's certain triggers they have. And like yes, I think that more often than not, it's a failure of society not catching them than anything else. Like I do feel like if you put the money and the resources to preventing and catching these people, they'd be caught at a much higher rate. Now, don't get me wrong, you have your Jeffrey Dahmers and your Ted Bundys who are like the goats of serial killers, which is terrible, but they got caught. I mean,
So they weren't the ghosts though. That's what I'm saying. What would it be to catch a serial killer that's day job is a pre-K teacher?
I mean,
How-
it depends.
Like, let's say that's your alias. Like, you're a pre-K teacher, you're a priest at a church, but you're a serial killer.
It depends. It depends on how you operate. Like for example, if you went after kids, I think that you would probably have a tougher time because like you'd have to lure them away, and then parents get involved, and then like Hell, I'm sure parents have GPS trackers on kids' necks now at this time. That's a
Christ.
lot more. That's a lot more red flags. A child missing is much more of an alarm for people than like an adult missing. If James goes missing, homeboy James goes missing, people are like, he's a grown man. He'll figure it out. Child goes missing, a little bit more dramatic. But it also
Yeah.
depends on how you're disposing of the body. What are you doing? Are you paying with cash? I mean, if I went everywhere and I'm buying like acid with cash and stuff, okay, the police investigate me. They know that the kids are linked to me. Usually, those people know them. Like, you get to know your targets. You get to befriend them. It's not like serial killers. I don't know very often just grab somebody off the streets. That's sometimes that happens with prostitutes, but like you evolve over time into picking a target, understanding the target, like wanting certain things. And I think most of the serial killers, it's like a sexual thing for them. It's like a sexual, like controlling thing.
Mhm.
Ted Bundy did that. Jeffrey Dahmer did that. John Wayne Gacy was like a sexual thing. Now, John Wayne Gacy got away with it a lot because they were very charismatic and smooth talkers. But with modern
But he
GPS systems,
such a like pivotal player in his community. That's how he got away.
yeah,
He was like a local clown. He was like on the council for his town. Like
I ain't never trusted no
shit.
clown. I'm be honest with you. You let your child hang out with the clown, bruh. But also at the same time, those serial killers were big because we didn't understand what they were. Like a study of serial killers didn't happen until like the 50s, 60s, 70s even. We were just thinking that they were just crazy people. It wasn't until like we started understanding them that we started to be able to fight it better. It's the same
Mhm.
thing with disease, right? I can inject you with like cholera. Like 100 years ago, raps. You were dead, done, gone. You were fucked. But nowadays, if you give me like cholera or the bubonic plague, that killed a third of Europe. Back in the day, fucking acing people. But
Yeah.
like today, my mom's like antibacterial. We know what it is. We can take care of it. We understand it now. We understand how it works. Now, it's a plague, and yes, it can still kill you. But also, I think people are more conscious now too. People are
Yeah.
way more like suspicious of people, which is a good and a bad thing, you could say,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, I think that it might be more difficult now with like technology. Like, when was the last place this person was seen? Walmart. Walmart has cameras. Where was the Walmart camera? He got in this truck. Whose truck is this? Okay, send out ABB for a white truck. You pull over a white truck. That you run the plates. 30 seconds. You're done. That guy's records are in everything. Blah blah blah. You can constantly. Technology goes to the point where like they used to. I watched a murder get solved that they sprayed super glue on a mayonnaise jar, and that super glue was specifically designed to adhere to a fingerprint. They got a fingerprint off a mayonnaise jar that a murderer had grabbed, and they linked this person, who's like 80 years old now, to a murder. Bro, technology's fucking nuts. I'm sure at some point they'll find a body and they'll just go like, "Hey, man, plug this thing into his brain and you can download his last memories and see the murderer." Like who knows what the fuck is going to be around in 10
Right.
years. Now, granted, we
Right.
can dispose of the body completely, but you got to have special preparations for it. Like there's a lot of stuff that's got to go your way, I think, today if you want to do it. Because it's like FBI, CIA, they track you. They know where you're going. They look at your purchases. Oh, you bought acid this day. You buy an acid here. All right, you ain't got a reason. All right, you're done. Wraps. Better call your lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't get me wrong, though. I think it's doable. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's a serial killer running around right now who's probably
Yeah.
very good at his job, but like,
Job is crazy. His job is crazy.
I'm sure he's really good at it. It's not-
God damn. Hey, so speaking of Netflix, the pinnacle place for like independent entertaining, for like television shows and movies. Would you say like if you were a young producer, is Netflix to get your project out there? If you have something already taped, if you find it, is Netflix?
It
I would
like it's so
I
like
would probably say Netflix.
yeah. Cause,
How
'cause
tough do you think it would be if we had a grant for a TV show, something like Trailer Park Boys? Like, we're gonna do some independent fucking whatever we're doing. How hard do you think like a show on Netflix?
I
A
think
good amount of money.
I think it's extremely difficult.
Like let's say we just have like a great, we have a
I don't
great
think
idea.
It's difficult. I think it's very, very costly. I don't think it's difficult. I mean,
I think
get
it's
your actors together, get a script together, pay some money, a lot of
Do
money.
you think you would need to pay Netflix to play like?
No, you would pay.
I'm sure you have to buy into some.
Yeah,
Like you get for free. I'm sure they want
Yeah,
some percent of royalties for X amount of times it's viewed on their platform. I'm sure they get something behind it.
Mm,
I'm also pretty sure that like with the streaming wars the way they are, like because you got HBO Max, you got Disney Plus, you got Hulu, you got Amazon. Yeah, you can do it, but I think that what's going on now more and more is that it used to be Netflix used to be movies and kind of like these new TV show ideas, and mainstream TV still had like your normal sitcoms.
yeah.
But now that Netflix is so big, that the juggernauts of like home entertainment, of like ABC, NBC,
Mm.
Fox, those places, they will start pumping their own money. So like it's way more competitive now to get your show on Netflix because like who are they going to take? Fox, who can give them like billions
Yeah.
of dollars, or like me. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I think like, for example, the Squid Games dude, brilliant idea, made it work, was a huge hit. But I'm pretty sure there's a show on Netflix that I've never watched because they
Yeah,
put
but
way too much money
again,
into
like
it.
I said, it's not their loss. If Netflix and you put it like this, dude. For example,
If I bankroll it, why don't I just do it myself? I think Netflix does put money into it.
let me just give you this example. From a business standpoint, you guys are both 1099 somewhere. It costs companies $0 to 1099 you and say, yes, use our shit, go ahead, do it. But once you fuck up, all right, well, we'll revoke your shit, you're not doing it for us anymore. It's the same shit with Netflix. You Netflix. So once you put that money in, if you destroy it and it doesn't work for you, it's not a loss on Netflix, it's a loss on you.
Yes, but the Netflix does lose loss. They publishing rights, getting trademarks done. Don't get me wrong. If I walk
Dude,
into Netflix,
at the rate that they do dollar.
yes, but Netflix still makes a loss. So I guarantee you, if I walked into Netflix's office and I said, "I'm Connor Peck. I have $1 billion. I'm gonna make a show. I will bankroll the entire thing. I just need like your equipment, your production, everything." Netflix is still paying those people. I mean, I guess if I paid for everything, Netflix wouldn't care. But you don't usually do that. Netflix usually pays money to get these shows done. You got to pay marketing rights, promoting. You have to pay like, yeah, I'm sure if I paid everything, it's the same thing with like a rapper, right? You go to a label and you go like, I'll pay for everything, publish my work. Yeah, they have no loss.
Ended over being with the label though. You know, I know now that conversation. I know when you're a independent artist compared to being a record label's artist, you know, things are being from your contract. When you sign a contract to a record label, you're provided with the studio, you're provided with the publishing, you're provided with the editor, you're provided with the editing team. But we
Yeah, so
you pay for the studio time, you create the work, you figure out a way to get a hold of some beats. It's a different commodity when you're signed under a bigger umbrella, right? You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with Netflix. You got to listen to them what they do. I'm sure Debate has enough money to like fund his own music labels, but he still goes to a.
He almost has to at this point because he screwed himself even with the whole Rolling Loud situation. So yeah, so like
That, like he even if like Kanye West comes to me, like, I'm Kanye West. No introductions necessary. I know he's got money. I know he's one of the greatest talents of all time. Even if I was a production label, there's still some money I'm losing, and you're taking that risk. Now, granted, it might not be a lot of money, but if you keep taking risks on everything and keep losing money on everything, nobody's going to want to invest in your business. Especially because Netflix is a company that's on the stock market. So like if your viewing numbers go down because no one's watching your stuff because you keep bankrolling like shitty projects, your stockholders ain't happy, ain't nothing happy. You know what I mean?
so let me understand, Connor. So because in my opinion, I feel that Netflix edged out television since COVID. So in saying that, you feel that they have a better advantage that they premiere on their platform, is what you're saying. So they will be a little bit more stingier than what they would allow to be on their platform. Is what you're
I
saying?
think that if you wanted to make a show on Netflix, when it
James, stop sucking that ghost dick.
Nigga, I'm tired. Shut the fuck up.
when Netflix first came out and it was like only movies, I think that they weren't worried about it. Like they were going to take any good idea they potentially thought
Yeah.
and roll with it. But like nowadays, Netflix has enough money they can bankroll it. But eventually, I think that they can say like we're big and we have talent. But I think that it's a catch-22, right? You're an independent artist. You make all your own music and you make good money while doing it. Eventually, a big enough label is going to come to you and give you a contract. You, you know what I'm saying? And once you become a commodity, your services get more expensive. So if
Yeah.
I'm let's say Christian, right? Clean Solar, you become famous. You're a rapper. You make a lot of money. You go to Netflix, right? Let's say I don't know what a small label is in the music industry. I don't know. Let's say like it's a smaller label, local in Charlotte.
Yeah, we can say $1 billion baby. We can say the baby's label.
You know what I'm saying? Like anything like that, like a small Netflix in the beginning, right? You go to them and you go like, I'm gonna make a lot. I want to give you my work. We're both independent, right? We're talking about this. You become hugely successful. You make this record label a lot of money. That brings in more people to the record label.
More talent, right?
All right. Eventually, big enough people show up like Kanye West, where it's like you can't get them at a discount anymore. You're taking that risk. You got to pay full price. So Netflix bringing in Chris Hemmingsworth, yeah, you could say that Netflix edged out TV. He's still going to get paid what he wants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you become big enough, then people start asking for more and more money. Like, you're a smaller record label. We weren't able, we're small, we can't make it. But once people realize you got money, they're going to get it. And I do think that, there is people out there who probably would thrive off Netflix, but at this point, it's like paying for TV. Like, once something big comes to Netflix, all right, it's there, and then it's like, all right, then I got to go watch it on Hulu or HBO Max now.
Yeah.
When it used to be like Netflix only, they had a monopoly and they could pay people cheap because it's the only way you get on there. But now, if you're Clean Solar, you don't have to go to that same record label anymore. There's like nine of them now, right? I can go to HBO Max and do a movie. I can go to Hulu and do a movie.
Yeah.
They got to compete with each other for prices, which is great for like those business people in that area of like I'm a producer, right? Netflix wants me to make a movie, but Hulu does too. Who's paying me the most money? But then at the same time, for the consumer, it's not the greatest, because I remember when it was just Hulu and Netflix. Everything was on Netflix. Office was on Netflix. Everything was on Netflix. And it was convenient. It was a one fee. I think when I first bought Netflix, it was $12.99 back in high school. But now it's like, okay, movies are going to be released on HBO Max for 30 days, and then eventually they'll make it to Netflix. And then Netflix didn't have a lot of anime on it, but now it does. Now Amazon Prime's getting there. And now we have Disney Plus, who's just a conglomerate Disney with every Disney movie, and now Disney is rolling in things out of the vault. And if you want to watch Star Wars content, it's got to be on Disney. I know that, and it kind of sucks. Like it's a lot more complex. It's like I'm paying $80 now for all these services. It's like you're paying for a cable package.
James, is that how it is for you, man? When you're out there bartering to these different agencies and jobs, man, do you feel like the independent talent going to the big label, selling your work? Is that how it is for you?
So, in my personal experience, and it's hard to break it down like this, I make going after these smaller people compared to going after a job with a big vendor. And the reason I say that is because a big vendor typically has a overhead cost and a lot more shit that they can add in and charge to customers and pay me out of that total price that they get from the customer. For example, if I go do a job for $8,000, for $10,000, chances are I only get about 18%. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I feel like the bigger company, like a catch-22 sort of deal. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of benefits to it, yes, but there's also a lot of negatives to it as well. You know, I have to really look and get details behind everything, in my opinion.
Well, it's the same thing with competition. You know, you can pay people more, you get better talent, but once you're a big enough company, you don't kind of have to compete. People come to you to get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like McDonald's,
Like buying a franchise.
yeah, like McDonald's and Wendy's they don't need to be out here like. I mean, yeah, maybe now with like the current environment of like jobs and stuff, but like McDonald's is like, we'll pay you $10 an hour. Like people are gonna come to McDonald's to get a job.
Yeah.
Like something a little bit more niche, you might have to fight for clients and getting people to work with you. But, I mean, we'll see.
In the chat, guys, I didn't know if somebody would be able to share the video because my sound is an issue. But you know, while we're wrapping up, looking at wanted to change the topic. Look at something a little more entertaining.
Batman.
Did you guys hear that?
No. Do you know Christian's gone? That man said, "Hey, check chat. It's entertaining." And then that man said, 11:30. We done. We done today.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. I don't know why it keeps kicking me out right now. Let me turn.
I can't hear you now.
I think it's hilarious.